We're back. Tri-State Sports Guys, stop at Cable Radio Studios here in Norwalk. Time for the 5 and 10. Shawnee, I'm glad to have you here. I wanted to have you in the studio anyway, just to talk to you a little bit about your season, but you've been here all show. You've done a great show. I think you're going to do well for the rest, as a full-time replacement for O. I think you've been very good.
Yeah.
Mike was saying off air that you're much better than O.
I was shocked. I thought Mike and O were very close. But
when the camera goes off, they immediately goes, give me my water, give me the air conditioner. He's yelling at, he's very demanding, and you're not like that.
Does O sweat? Is he sweating here?
So he's very demanding. He's like a diva.
Yeah.
He's like the Bill O'Reilly of internet sports talk show. He's Derek Edwards. That's why they got along so well. You know what I mean? But so let's get into your game. You had you guys lost against Xavier.
Yeah.
I was at the game. Tony was there. O was there. I mean, they were the best high school team I've seen in Connecticut in my lifetime. Great. I mean, to me, you guys played extremely well. I mean, you guys had a lead. It's the first time they've been down all season. Mm-hmm. You guys played extremely well. I mean, they had two legitimate quarterbacks. They had two quarterbacks that would be starters anywhere. Right. They had the number 4 kid was unbelievable.
He's unbelievable.
And is he a senior?
I believe they're all seniors.
Yeah, they're all seniors. Yeah. They probably. I mean, they had a roster that looked like a college roster.
Yeah.
But that number 4, I mean, he did everything. He was unbelievable. Is he the best player you've played against this year, you think?
Oof.
Who's the best player you played against?
The best player, he's got to be up there.
He's got to be up there, right? I mean, the kid from Stanford was a good athlete. The
quarterback from Stanford,
this kid
the receiver from Stanford.
I'm saying as not knowing him, there's kind of reports. I saw this kid, and we were looking him up on the phone.
Yeah.
So O's looking him up, and he's saying, this guy's on max preps, is getting scouted, and he's whatever. He wasn't a super big guy.
No, he wasn't. He was one of the few kids that was not like when you saw him, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Everybody else on the team was. They were just.
Yeah, I mean they were huge. I mean, you guys are very big up front. They were bigger.
The one thing I would have loved to see, because they had a lot of people playing both ways. In the first half, our defense was kind of hanging with them. We stopped them. We made a punt a couple times.
Yeah, and you had in the fourth and third, they didn't get it. Yeah.
So we
fourth and 3.
Right. So I think our defense, and it's hard to say this when you let up 500, but they just wore you down. Their lineman is 6'3", 260, 6'4", 280, 6'3", 290.
Yeah.
Our kid just got worn down. We have everybody going both ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%,
everybody.
Yeah. And you lost Quasi, right?
Right. Quasi went down early, which killed us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And But I would have just loved to see if we could if we could get guys just to play well, just to see. But that was the best team I have ever seen in the state of Connecticut, and not even close.
100%.
Not even close.
They were big. Their skill positions were all good. I mean, they're
linebackers. They're 6'3", 250, 6'2", 225. It was unbelievable.
Right, they had 2 quarterbacks. One guy would run. One kid was like 6'5". He would run the ball. The other kid threw a real nice ball. Threw the ball down the field. I mean, they had the kid, like I said, number 4. I mean, they could just come at you in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And I think defensively is where I mean, their offense was good, but defensively they were so impressive. That's one of those games. And I mean, you guys played your hearts out. Which I mean, in the fourth quarter, you guys had your starters out there hitting.
Right.
I thought it was awesome. Yeah. That kid Klein, who was in here. Kid. I mean, I'll remember that kid for the rest of my days watching football, because that kid was hitting. He was just playing as hard as he could, even down 30 points. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, the thing with football, especially at the high school level, you're going to get a lot less Cinderella type. I mean, when you're just that much bigger. And that much stronger, there's not much you could do. Yeah. It's not like basketball, you can get a Hoosiers type story. In football, size is going to win. It's not like baseball where a team can get hot, one pitcher can get hot. In football, it is just tough to overcome the fact that, like you said, they were fresh.
Yeah.
They were fresh, and they were just big. And, to me, and you're not going to say it, I'm sure, but, in New Jersey, I was telling me, parochial schools have their own league, and public schools have their own league. I mean, I don't see how it's fair. We talk about it in basketball all the time, and Norwalk has won a couple state championships in basketball against the Trinities and these guys but basically anybody who's any good can just go up to Xavier and go play football.
That's absolutely
right. And you got to take everybody, and I know you guys don't even cut people.
Right.
So you're dealing with everybody because you want to. I mean, in Norwalk, you're trying to keep kids doing something after school and doing the right thing. So you don't want to cut people.
Right.
So you're doing that, and this team is basically recruiting, not necessarily recruiting, but
they're recruiting.
Recruiting.
Absolutely, you could say it. They're recruiting.
And so it makes it difficult. I mean, how do you really? how do you compete with it? I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of stinks. It stinks to be in the double. I mean, some of the smaller classes might not have the private schools to deal with. But Sean, I mean, we're super proud of you. I mean, we take a lot of credit actually for your success because we have you on here a lot. I mean, I'd say probably I was the MVP, and then you had Deshaun and those guys. But mostly it was me and my guidance and mentorship of these guys, which I don't want to like toot my own horn because that's not who I am. But I take a lot of credit for it. But Sean, you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
We're excited for next year. So you know what I mean. We're very excited.
Thanks a lot.
So we're gonna get into topic number 2. That went a little over 2 minutes, I think.
Just a bit.
We're gonna get quickly into the BCS.
Let's do it.
Now tell me what you think. Let's just cut right to the chase. We got all the different problems, but what do you think about LSU playing Alabama, even though they've played already and Alabama lost at home? Because I have an opinion. I think it's a little different than other people, but I want to hear you.
I don't even know what to say.
I think it shows that the system is so stupid.
It's
because
the dumbest system. It's on the lost tapes.
We talked about it for a while, yeah. And now my argument is against what all these people are saying, that there's no way that Alabama should have a chance to win because they lost at home against this team. But you could lose. The Jets could lose at home to the Giants and then beat them in the Super Bowl and they're still the champion.
Right.
But the question is, well, this is different because you don't play a championship series or you don't have playoffs. Well, then have a playoff. You know what I'm saying? Then what are you talking about? Okay, well then fine. The idea that coaches plays a big part of it, the way they vote, and the fact that teams are voting and coaches come right out and say it. The coach for Boise State came right out and said, I vote for not just my team, but I vote for the other teams that'll help me get higher. And of course you would. You would be not doing your job as the coach of the team if you weren't doing that. How is that possible? Can you imagine?
The whole thing, it's obviously just all money driven, but it's just, why not give Oklahoma State a chance?
I agree with you.
Why not?
But then, again, they lost to an unranked team. They lost to Texas Tech. They should have lost to Texas Tech.
Right, but the thing that happened...
You can tell Alabama, you lost to the #1 team in the country. You don't get to play in it. This team lost to an unranked team, and they get to play in it?
The thing that...
There's no right answer. There's
no right answer.
That's why it's broken system.
The thing that Mike Greeny brought up, which nobody brought up, and I didn't even think about it until he said it, was... They played 2 days after the girls' plane crashed or whatever. Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
You think that didn't have any
factor? You play sports in college. I mean, you're in athletics with these teams. You get to know all the other athletes.
All of them.
All of them. I don't care what, at school we knew the fencing team, but you're around them all the time.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine playing a game. You know all the girls on this team.
The coaches.
The coaches.
Right.
I'm saying, they're in the athletics center all the time. I mean, we knew the lacrosse coaches very well. So it's like... I mean, it's gotta.
I think that had a big part, but I mean, the whole system's stupid. Find the lost tapes and.
Well, we're gonna get down to the lost tapes. All right. Number 3, we talked about. We don't have to get into that much, but Tim Tebow wins again. Now you're a coach. You break down film of Tim Tebow, and you say to yourself, "Well, the guy doesn't make a lot of throws at other quarterbacks.
Right.
He's not even that fast, really. It's not like he's like Michael Vick, where you see he's a fast guy.
Right.
He just has a sense of football that other people don't have, which is just a gift. I would compare him actually to like a Ben Roethlisberger, but in a different regard. But Ben Roethlisberger tends to just make plays. When you watch that game where they beat the Jets to go to the Super Bowl last year, he made plays, and you knew when they were throwing that ball, like, he's going to find a way to make this play. You get that sense with Tim Tebow. I don't care what you say. You get that sense with him.
Yeah, he's, like you say on defense, he's got a nose for the ball. You can't explain he has a nose for the ball. He just knows how to play the game, and he's just a winner.
And it's not a gimmicky thing because other teams have run options. The Jets used to run options with Ray Lucas.
Yeah.
So, it's just he runs it well. Now, you're a coach. How would you prepare for him?
I would put 8 guys in the box.
Yeah.
Play man-to-man on the outside and said, okay, beat us.
Right.
And not change from that the whole time.
Well, because that's kind of what the Jets did until the last drive.
Right, and they're idiots.
Because he had 2 rushes past the line of scrimmage until that last drive. But yeah, I mean, that's what you do. You just let him beat you. And if he beats you, he beats you. All right, sticking with the AFC West, and O didn't really want to talk about this, but I think we got to talk about the Oakland Raiders. And the Oakland Raiders, we got 2 fans on the show. Well, former host O and Mike T, who's now accelerated to top producer here on the show, and Tony and O are off the show. But so we broke down the Carson Palmer trade when it happened. I thought it was a terrible trade. I thought it was a terrible trade for them. They were off to a good start. You go out and Jason Campbell was not their problem. It's not like they needed a quarterback. He was playing fine. they made that trade out of necessity because Jason Campbell got hurt, but then they gave up a first-round pick and a second-round pick. And even if it had succeeded, they would have given up 2 first rounds. And you look at how Carson Palmer's played, and O's thinks he's been playing fine, but he really hasn't. He's got a quarterback rating in the low 70s. He's got more picks than touchdowns.
Right.
He's completing 55% of his passes. And they're not winning a lot of games with him. So now you look at them, and they're on the bubble of not making the playoffs altogether. And was it worth those 2 picks that they're giving up?
If they make the playoffs and make a run, yes. It's only time will tell.
You think so?
I think so. If they go on a big run, yeah.
But do you think that? Do you think that's going to happen though?
I think it could, because the other thing people got to remember is Carson Palmer hasn't played since last year. So right now he would just be finishing his last preseason game. You know what I mean? He has no preseason snaps. He has none of that.
I get that, but guys, Brett Favre used to never play in the preseason. There's quarterbacks to me.
Right, but he never took a full year off. My man has not played in.
Last
game he played?
Last game he played was January 3rd or whatever.
Right.
But now he's played 6 games. It's not like he's been playing a while.
Has he played that many games?
Yeah, right. How many games has it been, Mike? 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, 5.5.
He's been on the team for 6 games.
I take that back then.
So he's played. That's a solid amount of games. At this point, he should be playing better than he's playing. I don't think things are going to turn on a switch. He's getting in the playoffs and start beating teams. And I still think at the end of the day, they're not better. I think that the
McFadden getting hurt, that's
huge.
The big issue.
It's a big issue, and everybody likes Bush, and he's a good running back, but he's not. Why are you gonna laugh at that? You're like a host with a 13-year-old over here, right? It's like Beavis and Butthead over here. What am I doing? But I think McFadden really hurt them. What my whole point is, never at that point did I think that Carson Palmer was gonna be a guy that we made this trade and now he's gonna elevate us and
they're
not gonna win a Super Bowl.
They're
not gonna go to the Super Bowl.
You can bring in the best quarterback. If your wide receivers stink, your wide receivers stink. You can bring in the best running back. If your line stinks, they stink. Gary's Hayward Bay?
Right. I like Jacoby Ford. He's always hurt.
Yeah.
They brought in T.J. Houshmandzadeh, there's a reason why he wasn't on a roster. So, to me it was a ill-advised snap.
They got caught up in the moment.
Yeah. I don't know. I still think they could win that division. That's not going to make the trade to me any better. To me it doesn't mean that was a right trade because I think that they're going to wind up paying for that because they're a couple pieces away.
Right.
And now they don't have those draft picks to make, even though they never make good draft picks anyway. Maybe they know we always make terrible draft picks, so we might as well just get rid of them so we don't get yelled at. All right. Now it's topic number 5 in our 5 and 10. It's O's potpourri, calls it. Pop culture. He likes to go over it.
It's sports.
No. This is just like pop culture. You still want to hang around for this?
Yeah, I guess. I've been here this long.
You've been sat around this long. So this is O's potpourri. It's the first I've seen him, and he references me apparently. It says Mike watches Dancing with the Stars, but he calls it like a 13-year-old girl, DTWS.
He texted that to you, right?
And then he goes LOL probably later on. So he writes, Mike watches DTWS, which I really don't, but my wife watches, so I follow it a little bit. Karina Smirnoff and he says Brady Penny, but I think he means Brad Penny, called off their engagement. Tells me 2 things. 1, Penny gets a lot of hot chicks. This girl, Alyssa Milano, etc. 2, this is the girl's 2nd public engagement and 3rd big breakup. Mario Lopez, the dancer Maxim, and now Penny. So she's in the same class as Jennifer Aniston in terms of craziness. She's one crazy Russian. Now, I'll be completely honest with you. I have no idea what he's talking about with any of this stuff. I knew she was...
He should have written that in Russian.
I knew Brad Penny was engaged, or I knew he dated Alyssa Milano, because Alyssa Milano...
She's hot.
She dates a lot of baseball players. So that's the only thing I know about it. She's always she was on Howard Stern one time, she was talking about the baseball players, and I know she was dating fat Brad Penny. I'm like, I got a shot here. You know what I mean? I'll plump up for you there, sweetie, because she's hot. And she's Italian, I think she would like me.
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If she likes sports, we'd love to have her on.
Yeah, you play
softball. Get her in. She could just say what? So I play softball. Right? So I don't even know what to make of it about this whole thing because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I wish I could add more to it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
But I got nothing. So we're next week. We're gonna have Shawnee. You're gonna be here for the full show next week.
I'm here.
O's out. Tony's out. It's me, Mike T, and Mooser.
Wow.
We'll see you next week for the Tri-State Sports, guys.